Why do we have a sign of peace at Mass? The sign of peace is specifically for preparing our hearts for communion. That's why the sign of peace is there. It comes from Jesus' words, "If you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go first and be reconciled with your brother, and then come offer your gift." The spirit of the sign of peace at Mass is preparation of our hearts for communion. If we don't have charity and love for our brothers and sisters, how can we have love for God? Sign of peace over the years has had many different expressions, which can help us now as we're trying to find a new expression that doesn't involve touching. The Italians and many of the Mediterraneans, they used to give the kiss of peace. And in the earliest traditions of the church, it wasn't called the sign of peace. It was called the kiss of peace. Of course, they would kiss each other on both cheeks. Some cultures that were a little standoffish from that, they would kiss each other's hands. Some would just bow. By the 17th century in the Latin Rite, it was only the priests who would give each other peace. The congregation would not. In the Second Vatican Council, they talked about that and they said, well, let's bring this back, this spirit of preparing in charity with one another for communion to everyone. So after the Second Vatican Council, that was all brought back in. And it was up to the bishops of each country to decide what's the best cultural expression for the sign of peace. So I thought it was an interesting time to take a moment to remind ourselves the meaning of that sign of peace. And I would encourage us today to be really simple with that. And I think a simple bow to one another is the easiest way to capture the spirit of what the sign of peace is, preparing our hearts in communion with our brothers and sisters and our families in order to be in communion with God and the reception of communion. So thanks for your patience.